Next thing we're going to talk about is saving and recalling presets. One of the really great features about the Studiolive is the option to load pre-made presets for any instrument or mic setting you might be using, as well as to save your own versions of that. If you come up with really great EQ, compression, effects, whatever for whatever line you're running, as well as saving an entire scene. So if you did a mix at your Wednesday rehearsal and somebody else is going to be coming in on Friday for something else, some sort of worship night or whatever, and you want to call up Sunday what you originally set up for your mix, you can save your scene and recall your scene. So the very first thing we'll go through is just how to save and recall a scene. Right now our board is zeroed out. Absolutely no effects or settings on anything. As I scroll through these channels, you can see nothing on the fat channel changes. All right, but now if I've saved a master scene at Refuge. So if I go to Scene over here in the Effects Master Control, if I hit Scene, now we have these options. It says Memory S1 Zero Out Board. I would advise that you not normally do this because doing this is going to erase any settings you have. But if we scroll over with the value knob, I've created S2 Refuge Default. Watch what happens to the fat channel when I hit Recall. Recall is going to load up the entire saved scene, and under every single channel I've EQ'd and compressed and set a whole bunch of stuff up. So Recall, and now it's turned on my EQ, it's turned on my compressor, it's set some EQ levels for channel 24, Pastor Tim's microphone. Now if we go over to 21, you see they change. Right? Go over to 16, bass, that changes. All these have been pre-set up with EQ and compression to work with what we typically are using here at Refuge. So if you were to want to create your own thing, let's say I totally change. I don't want any EQ on my electric for some reason, and my bass, I want to just really, really compress it. I'm going to boost the low end like crazy, make it sound awful, boost the high end. Obviously I wouldn't actually be doing this, but this will show you. What happens is now if I want to save a new scene, I can scroll the value knob over to a blank one, S4, empty location, use the next button, scroll over. If there's anything I want to turn on or off as far as what I'm saving, there's not going to be. Alright. There we go. Page down is going to take me to the option to rename it. So I'll hit page down, then next. Now I can name this whatever I want, right? We're going to call it T. You hit tap and you can delete stuff. Now if I hit store, right here, it's going to store that as a scene. So if I want to load a different one, again I hit scene, I can go to Refuge, default B, that's just a backup one. Hit recall. See the couple changes there? Now go back to T, recall. You see changes again. So you can save your own scenes in any of the empty locations. Don't save over zero out board or the two Refuge defaults. They're both the same. They're just in case you do mess up and delete one of them. You'll still have it. But please don't save over either of those. And at the very least, when in doubt, you'll always have, you can just load that scene and have a basic setup for what we typically do here at Refuge on Sundays. Now, the next thing we're going to go through is how to save and load presets. Now, it's very similar to scenes, however, it's located over in the channel area. Alright, so over here, if we press load, we can find a channel that we want to work with, and so let's say bass. And we want to load a bass preset onto that. So now we go over here under Master Control and scroll the value knob until I find a preset that Presonus has already made for me on a bass guitar. So I'm going to go bass slap because that'll sound awesome. I hit recall. It set up a rough compressor and EQ setting for me, and it's good to go. Obviously, no preset's going to be perfect. It's not going to, it's not been EQ'd or compressed or anything to your particular instrument or room, but it's a really good place to start. Now, So let's do that one more time. Let's do that with vocals. We're going to say on channel 18, which you can see nothing is going on. Channel 18, we're going to put a vocalist. So if I scroll over to the right here, keep scrolling, eventually I'm going to get to vocalists. And I'm going to get Vox male 1, 2, and 3, Vox female 1, 2, and 3, and then speech. I'm going to say that we're going to put preset Vox female 2 on there. So I've hit select, I've hit load channel, now I go to recall. Pressing recall, it's turned on a gate so that no background noise is going to get into the microphone when the vocalist isn't singing. It's turned on a compressor, and it's turned on some rough EQ settings. So now let's go to how to save your own preset. So let's say I don't want a gate on that, and I want a really hard compression, and the female singer's getting some sibilance. I also want to cut down some lower frequencies with her. Just random adjustments there just for the sake of demonstration. So now if I scroll over to empty location, channel 21, instead of load, I'm going to hit save. Alright? So, again, on the channel I want, hit save, scroll over to an empty location. Don't save over any of the pre-made presets with Presonus. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did when I was naming a scene. Press page down, next, change that to whatever I want. Boom, 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 Z thing. Hit store, and now if I go to load channel, I can load preset P51 Z symbol KQ. Right? That makes sense? So basically, we're able to load and save anything that you do with your effects, EQ, and compression. Anything done on the fat channel here, you can load and save over here under this channel area.